Welcome back to the All Things Women Summit.
Story.
You touched on something just a little lightly at the beginning of that around faith. And for some
Mhm.
women, there may be some shame that they're experiencing or guilt where they might feel a disconnection in their faith because of what's happened. How do you help women, and do you help women
Mhm.
navigate that? And what are some of the things that are coming up for them in that space?
Well, being a poster child for that particular instance really helps me connect. It comes out in my coaching, and people, I guess, detect it because they always ask me those questions. What do I do about broken faith? How do I deal? And I'm like, absolutely, I get you, because I always start off with, I was raised Catholic, and in the Catholic faith, there is a lot of religion, but relationship is not something that was stressed for me. And so it was difficult for me to understand, how do I do what everyone in my grief is telling me to do, which is lean into faith. How? How do I do that? First of all, I did everything I was supposed to do. I went to church. I thought I was a good person. I felt like me and Jesus was here. And then he goes and does this, rips the rug out from under me and takes the person that I thought was supposed to be my covering, my gift from him. And so how do I trust a God that would do this to me, that would do this to these little boys, my kids? Like, all my husband wanted to do was be a good father. How do you reconcile faith and trust in a God that would do this to you? And so it
Yeah.
really did break my faith for a while. And for me, I still was not going to give up into despair. And I'm like, well, what do I lean into? And so while I tried other things, I tried, yoga and Buddhism, and I even thought I was doing something different with the Torah, and I realized that it's just the beginning of the Bible. It's just the Old
It
Testament.
is. Yeah.
you know but
Yeah.
I tried a lot of different things, and it turned out that nothing was working as a gimmick or a trick or a fix. And I started to get into behavioral science and started to think, well, logically, there's got to be a way back to happy. And I read a book, The Confidence Gap by Russ Harris, and started getting into the core values. And as I'm getting into these core values and learning, wow, there's already things inside me that were here before and are going to be here after any loss that I have, that can help me in the specific situations that I'm in. Healing in the specific situations. I'm creative. I'm going to have to have kids and be in this situation and still be happy. I'm productive. I'm like finding my core values. And in the middle of that, in the middle of learning who I am specifically, I felt like God was sitting there like, so you're beautifully and wonderfully made, aren't you? You're feeling like, look what I did for you, And it's like, so I kind of found God that way, where it was like, even though I tried to do it my way with logic, it's like, logic is not above or beyond God. He's still in it, And there it was. Yes, you were made, and I made this mercy for you, that you can do this, and you can lean on me by leaning into who I made you and what I gave you to work with. That I knew, and I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. All this time, I knit you together like you are, specifically, so you can stop hating who you are. You are not your circumstance. You are made to beat this circumstance. And I'm gonna run around this room. It was,
Yes.
it brought me
I'm like, that's the word that preaches right there.
Yes. Yes. And it reconnected me to God, and it helps me reconnect other people, because in it, they are seeing, I don't have to prove it to them. They are seeing the pieces of them that work for this situation. They're like, oh man, I didn't know I had this in me. I didn't know I could do it. And, I'm like, look at you go. Look at what God did. Look at you go. I love when I meet people that are in that space, because I'm like, I remember that. I'm going to jump down in this hole with you, and I'm going to tell you how to get out, because I've been here before. So,
Yes. Whew, that is good. And that's a good word right there. God meets us where we are, and he knows us. Yes.
Yes.